you brought up reviewers. Is reviewing this game a weird process because there's so many permutations in it that reviewer A can get something completely different from the other 100 reviewers that they'll never experience, right, on one playthrough. Is that like a worry? Is that just the game? Is that how it is?
No, it's a serious worry because because we moved our date earlier, we compressed review time. That's actually one of the things we sacrificed. So in moving it forward, we said, okay, well, we'll have less time for the reviewers as a result of this. It worries me because I would like them to see exactly how much there is. I would like them to see the different permutations, to see how it is, because it is. I think it'll be obvious when you play it, but I don't know anymore because I've played so much of it and I've seen so much of it. But I hope that they're going to be aware, or at least try a number of things and say, "Oh, holy shit! Did that just happen? Did that game completely rotate because I just did that?" And the answer will be, "Yeah, it did," because that's what it does, right? So.
Yeah. I will say,
I would hope that if they are like any of the reviewers are like upset or disappointed or whatever with any sort of like path or ending they get, I hope they blame themselves because of the choices they made.
Said. Sure.
No, that's not true. No. That's us. We need to make sure that you always have a good time, right? So that's our jobs. So it's just that you can't have like 110% on everything, right? So there needs to be some variation, or there will inevitably be some variation. There are things in there that we genuinely as a team are convinced of. This is really, really good. There are moments in there. There's really a very wide spectrum of emotion that you're going to get as you're going to play it, as it should be, because for a lengthy RPG based on D&D, that's what it is. But we'll see. I mean, I hate review at times because that's like it's out there, can't do anything anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
The only thing I can do is like just go and sit in a corner and just say they're going to hate it, and then just see what happens, and then wait until to hear what it is. So I don't know. Review code is going to go out very soon now, so we'll see and see what happens.
Speaking of experience raw, visceral emotion, will druids be able to talk to Boo?
Ha! The question. We debated that question for a very long time. So if you wild shape, you can talk to other animals. It's one of the ways that you can talk to animals if you want. That's how I am with my cat. I made it a point of turning into a cat whenever I saw a rat. But Boo is special. Boo is special. And exactly how special, you'll have to find out yourself.
Follow-up question. When you picked Samuel L. Jackson to voice him, how did that process go?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to hype this up because no. But we actually the mystery of Boo is that it's the mystery of Boo, so we wanted to leave it alone. So I think you'll find a really good Vincke. At least I enjoy him. And you'll because obviously you're mind melding with one another. So because of the tadpoles that you share with one another, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, you'll find out. You'll find for yourselves. I mean, I love the scene in which you find well, never mind. You'll find out.
I was gonna say danger.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, one kind of just quick mechanical question, and this is kind of opens a door into a little bit of what you guys were thinking with this. So a lot of 5e players noticed that there was no dodge action. Is that like how did that thinking come around? Is it there in different forms? Like how does that work?
No, it's not in there. So that's the there's no ready, there's no dodge. So those are so whether or not that's the right decision, we'll see with the mods. If people are going to mod it in, it's possible.
Probably already have.
But I mean, like, yeah, exactly. So, but we're not shipping with it.
Okay, cool.
Kind of a more broad, open-end development question. This is from Enzeval on Twitter. What was the hardest thing to make for you in the game? What was the thing that you most iterated on? And on the other side, what was surprisingly easy for you?
So the hardest one was actually the bit that we made during COVID. That was the hardest bit just because it was we were working in completely different circumstances than we were used to, so it was very hard to make those bits. I gotta say that the ones that were the easiest ones, but in hindsight, it should have been predicted, right? So we had this city that we were making, and we were afraid of the city, but we worked hard on the city. But to be fair, that was probably easier than making the bit that we made during COVID, even if the city was such a big thing with so much content going on. And this particular game, I think that would be the thing. The hardest one would have been everything we'd made during COVID, just because it was such a dark time. Conversely, we also it's a dark section in the game, which I realized afterwards. So that's funny. Actually, we made one of the darkest sections in the games is what we made during this darkest time in our development career. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
I don't know how that worked out. Also, going back to kind of the early access process, Arc of Aether on Twitter is wondering if there are any particular character class interactions in early access that most players missed, that you looking at your data.
Sorry, can you say that again, Cool? Sorry, I missed you.
They were wondering, are there any particular character or class interactions in early access that most players missed? Was there anything in the early access that was like that you saw in your data?
Yeah, so I personally don't look that much at the data, because otherwise it's going to influence me too much. I sometimes tell the team, like, oh, nobody picks that option, but I actually don't really know what I'm talking about. So I wouldn't be able. I would have to ask one of our analytics guys to tell you the answer. So I don't know.
Cool.
Very cool.
I kind of outside of the game, outside of Baldur's Gate, just real quick, personal question for you. Did you have like a comfort game or a piece of media that you would revisit or constantly play, like when you weren't playing Baldur's Gate for the umpteenth time, that you would often go to during the 6 years of development?
Yeah, it's painful because I'm so bad at it. It's Into the Breach on my Switch.
Nice. Great one. Great one.
I suck so hard at it. And I just keep on going back to it. It's ridiculous because I travel a lot for my job, and I am on the plane, and I get all these games that I load on my Switch, and I just keep on going back to Into the Breach.
Hey, it's comfort. That's how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Nothing wrong.
That's a great one.
Yeah, dude. My Steam says I have over 300 hours in that game.
There you go.
So I feel you. I feel you on that. Yeah.
It's great. It's great. I was reading another interview that he did. I think it was with Eurogamer. You probably mentioned it multiple times in multiple interviews. But you said that Ultima 7 is your, you said the game that defines you. What is like your favorite Ultima 7 memory, your core memory of that game that, you know, if you had to say, you oftentimes go back to and think about?
Yeah, there was a Lich in Ultima 7, and he told you that he was unkillable, and he wasn't. But he was really, really, really hard to kill. And I spent, I don't know how much time in that dungeon trying to fucking out, how am I going to kill this Lich? It's impossible. You can't kill this thing, right? So, but it was lying. And the game was trying to tell me via various clues. But other than that, it was just a sheer sense of reward for exploration. I picked that up from that game. I said that this is one of the games that rewards exploration so much through systemic interaction with the world, because you had to put your little crates next to one another and climb on top of it to get through things, and like there were secrets everywhere. I loved it, and it's heavily defined how I think RPGs should make, because I want to get that same feeling from our own games. And to, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned it, JP, because yesterday I was in the city and I said, "Oh, we got it!" All right, and I was literally that feeling that I had a long time ago when I was playing Ultima 7. I felt it as I was walking through the city, exploring one of the houses, and I say, "Okay, we got it." I just felt like that because I hadn't seen what they had done with the house. I knew the general intention, but they had put multiple things in there that were secrets upon secrets, and then another secret, and then a nice reward, and it felt good.
Was that the first time that you had that feeling so far in the game, when it kind of, you know, as it's taken so long in the journey to get to that point?
I think so. To be fair, yeah, because there's another section where I had it in the game. I'm not going to tell you which one. Earlier on, we said, okay, that's actually that nailed it. but here it was special because it just reminded me of a moment that I had in the past and that I never told anybody in the team on there, but I was having it as I was playing it, and I felt like it was a really good day yesterday, actually, because I'm preparing. I'm doing a little thing. I was preparing for it, and I came up with this really, really cool, insane idea of how I'm going to do it, and I had that also happening, and it worked, and I was so happy because I enjoy when the systems allow you to do something in the game. Like the designers intended it to be like this, but I find a way of completely bypassing it, but which fulfills my role-playing itch. And so I discovered that yesterday also in the city. I found the ultimate way of robbing a bank is essentially what I did. And it was really, and I thought I already knew it, how to do it, because I did it actually at that press event I was telling you about. But I found a so much better way of doing it. Which is ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous, but it's really cool.
Cool.